Uninformed immigrants are at a huge disadvantage in court, in financial and legal matters, and also sometimes in life. Well, what can we do about it? I'll tell you what. We can train, teach, inspire, and empower immigrants to maximize their lives regardless of their immigration status. And that's exactly what we're going to do here. I am your immigration lawyer and host, Otis Landerholm, and this is the Empowered Immigrant Podcast. Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Empowered Immigrant Podcast. So hello and welcome. Today, it's my wife's birthday, and I want to honor her today. And I want to tell you a story, all right? 8 years ago, I was going through the most difficult time that my law firm had ever gone through. And I was close to losing everything. And I don't know if you know that, but I was. And let me just tell you, I was stressed. And I wasn't sleeping well, and I had ideas for how to turn things around, but I didn't know what I was doing at that time, and I was making a lot of mistakes, and I was like scared and nervous and frustrated, okay? So one morning, I woke up, and I was like, my heart was beating. I don't know if I was had a bad dream or something. And my mind was racing and I was sweating. And immediately after waking up, I started venting. I was frustrated. I was going on and on. I was treating myself as a victim of all the bad things that were happening inside of my business. And my wife, who was there next to me, was listening to me first thing in the morning. And she was listening to my frustrations. And after she listened to them, she turned and she asked me, "Hey, do you remember what day it is?" And it hit me. It hit me. It was my wife's birthday. And I had forgotten. I was so absorbed in my own mind, in my own head, in my own fears, and in my own worries about the situation that I was going through, that I had forgotten my wife's birthday. And I'm ashamed with myself for having done that. All right. I'm ashamed with myself for having done that. But you know something? Everyone makes mistakes in relationships. Everyone. And the question is, do you learn from them? And in that moment, I paused and I took a deep breath and I just said, "Wow, I forgot your birthday." I said, "I'm sorry, I've been being so selfish." Like I was just focusing on me and the firm and, I've got to do this and that and this and that. Then I asked her, "What do you want to do? How do you want to celebrate your birthday?" And now, what would you do in that situation? Would you hold a grudge, for example? Let me tell you that my wife has never once even mentioned it, ever. All right. She's like super quick to forgive. And after that, on that day, I stopped thinking about work. Well, probably not 100%, right? I was worried about it. But at the very least, I took a step back and I started thinking about how can I honor my wife? And I started to think about, why am I thinking so much about myself and my business? And hey, you know something? Maybe everything will fail. But let's keep our eye on the prize of what really matters most. And my relationship with my wife matters more than anything else that I have in the world. Like I wouldn't be who I am without it. So here's the deal. In relationships, we all make mistakes. And yes, one of my mistakes was on that particular occasion, I forgot my wife's birthday. And we all make mistakes. There's small ones, there's big ones, whatever. and we have the opportunity to grow from them, and we have the opportunity to learn from them. And let me tell you, I've never forgotten her birthday since then, and I try to make them a special memory now every year. And let me ask you, what mistakes have you made? Where in your relationship are you focusing on yourself, on your worries, on your doubts and your fears instead of on your relationship? Where could you shift your own focus and bring your attention back to what really matters to you? One way maybe is to admit your mistakes and to learn from them and to own them and to take responsibility for them. Stop focusing on yourself and instead focus on what matters most in your life, which is your key relationships. So today, Wendy, if you're listening, happy birthday. You are the love of my life, and I am so grateful to you. And I'm grateful for everything that we've created together, and I look forward to seeing what our future has in store. And I just love you. I send you absolutely nothing but honor and love today. And to the rest of our listeners, hey, thank you for listening. And during this holiday season that we're in right now, think about ways to connect with the relationships that matter most in your life. And we'll see you on the next episode of the Empowered Immigrant Podcast. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye. Thank you for listening to the Empowered Immigrant Podcast. If you like what you heard and if you want to learn more, please go to landerholmimmigration.com/podcast.